Hi, folks. This is Vic back again with another review. And today I'm going to review side by side the current version of Gentleman Givenchy Original and the vintage version of Givenchy Gentleman Original. Before talking about this matter, I would like to talk about this fabulous fragrance, which was Gentleman Givenchy Original, released in 1974. Is a woody aromatic scent. The perfumer behind was Paul Leger. And let's break down the notes. Top notes are honey, rose, geranium, tarragon, bergamot, lemon. Heart notes are patchouli, cedar, also jasmine, and orris roots. Base notes are again patchouli, leather, civet, Akmos, vetiver, musk, amber, and vanilla. His main accords are woody, patchouli, earthy, animalic, warm and spicy, mossy, honey, leather, and musky. Why we are talking about this matter? Because this is an important matter and it's very dear. This is one of the most important fragrances of the 70s. And Givenchy Gentleman, the current version I have an issue with, because the issue is that the Gentleman Givenchy Original, which you see, and next to it is Givenchy Gentleman, the current version. Well, there is a big issue because the issue is that the current version is very far from the original Gentleman Givenchy. Well, how we can explain? The issue is that when you spray it at the first sniff, there are similarities. I'm not telling you that doesn't smell like the original. But after a few seconds, or let's say after a couple of minutes, you realize that this is not the Givenchy Gentleman you used to know, because it's less potent, is less earthy, is less animalic, is less leathery, has been absolutely watered down, the current formulation, and I don't get why. And even if you see the color of the juice, the current version is very lemony, yellowish, but the original version is ambery, very thicker, very oilier, very ambery. And there are absolutely two different fragrances, because just today I spray on my left arm Givenchy Gentleman current version, and on my right arm I spray a Givenchy Gentleman vintage version. And after 35 minutes, the current version was almost faded away, was not even a skin scent, was gone. But the vintage version remained on my skin at least 6 or 7 hours. So there is a longevity issue, which is important. And also the smell has definitely changed. And I don't understand why they try to persuade us that that's the original, that's the Givenchy you used to know and you used to cherish, which is not the case anymore, because this Givenchy has been altered, and altered in the wrong side of the street, not in the sunny side of the street. So that's a pity for me, because Givenchy Gentleman Original was one of my very, very favorite fragrances. And I'm very saddened by this matter that has been altered and lost that earthiness, lost that animalic, lost that leathery, lost that patchouli. Even the patchouli has been very, very light. You know, this is a scent full of patchouli. This is a fragrance of patchouli, leather, animalic. Okay, I can understand. Civet is nowadays forbidden to use the natural civet, but you can replace it by a fake civet, by synthetic civet. Why all those dark side of these fragrances are now disappeared, and all that remain is a very lemony, how can I say, very meaningless fragrance that it's not even worth it to be called a Givenchy Gentleman Original. I'm sorry to say this is not a cheapy fragrance. This fragrance costs around $125. So with $125, you can buy lots of good fragrances in the market. So if you decide to pull the trigger and you decide to buy the original Givenchy Gentleman, then you deserve to have at least the closest formulation to the original. But this is far from being the closest formulation to the original. The original was lasting, was mysterious, was dark, was woody, was animalic, was honeyish. Even I don't feel the honey notes. I don't feel the honey notes. I'm sorry to say, I really cannot detect the honey in the current version. So all those are big issues for me because why I have to pull the trigger to buy this meaningless fragrance, this toneless fragrance called Givenchy Gentleman Original. No, I'm sorry to say, this is far from the original version, and this is not a good reformulation because I'm sure, okay, despite all the new regulations, despite all the new imposed rules by IFRA, Givenchy perfumers could manage to do a better reformulation and was even better than this a couple of years ago, was better than this. Now is really it's really one of the worst reformulation of this masterpiece and is still a bestseller of the house of Givenchy. So this is kind of very disappointing fragrance for me because it's one of my most favorite fragrances, and unfortunately it became a meaningless fragrance. At least the current version is meaningless. So if you are searching to find a real Givenchy Gentleman, you have to try to find the older batches or you have to find the vintage version. I'm sorry to say because otherwise, I'm not telling you that you waste your money, but I'm telling you in the way that with $120 you can find better fragrances in the market than this current version of Givenchy Gentleman, which is to me a very, very mediocre and very meaningless formulation. Because why they have to alter so much this fragrance and almost killing the original Givenchy Gentleman, which was a true masterpiece released by the House of Givenchy in 1974-75 and was one of the king of the 70s, even the king of the 80s, and even today, this fragrance has lots of fans all over the world. So I'm sorry to say the current reformulation is not a good one. And really, in the house of Givenchy that belong to LVMH, they have to rethink about it to make a better formulation or just discontinuing this fragrance because just the name is not enough for us. We need a real fragrance. We don't need a pale shadow of the original Givenchy Gentleman. So this is my take on this fragrance. I wanted to compare them side by side. I wanted to tell them my personal experience because this is a fragrance that I really cherish. This is a fragrance I always had in my wardrobe, and I know what I'm talking about. I am not telling you rubbish. So this is a kind of fragrance that deserve to be on the highlight and deserve to be taken seriously. This matter is very important. Givenchy Gentleman, the current version is real meaningless to me. If you ever experience or if you share my opinion, just drop a comment I really appreciate to read your comments. Your comments are always welcome, and be sure I will always reply to your comments on this channel. And I hope that you enjoy this review. Talk to you very soon. Stay safe and sound. And until we talk again, cheerio.